Hey YouTube watchers, it's Dr. Evelyn here, and this is one of the parts of a multi-part video trying to answer the question of what is the adjustment and what is happening on a physiological and neurologic level. So I hope you enjoy these next 3 videos that are going to come out in a series and that you can really understand what it is that a chiropractor is looking for and trying to achieve and trying to help your body with. So subscribe to the channel and make sure that you watch the entire series so that you really start to understand what it is that we are trying to do and that you can see how it applies to you in your life. So first and foremost, I want to talk about our sixth sense, which is called proprioception. So you've always learned about your 5 senses, right? Your ability to see, your ability to hear, taste, sense feelings, and smell, right? So this sixth sense that we have called proprioception, you may never have heard of it. I didn't hear about it until I was studying biology, anatomy and physiology in undergrad. And then we dive so deep into it in chiropractic school because it's really one of the bases of chiropractic. So proprioception is basically the body's own ability to know where it is in space. It's also like if you can touch your nose, you know where your nose is, you know where your arm is, and you can control and coordinate those movements. A lot of guitar playing or things like that is all proprioceptive. You have to be able to control where the parts of your body are in relation to the rest of your body. So you could do a proprioceptive test on a friend or on your partner or your child. And basically you take their hand and you have them close their eyes, and then you move their finger down and you ask them, did I move your finger down or up? And they will likely say, you moved my finger down. You can move it up. And they will likely say, you moved my finger up, right? We'll be able to know. Another really interesting example of proprioception is when we're walking. Humans back in the day always walked barefoot. And you may have heard some research about how barefoot walking is actually really healthy for you. And it's because our feet would sense the ground with this proprioception, and then we would be able to send a signal to our brain and back down about how much weight we should put on each step. So if you're walking on sand, you can step pretty hard and, just go. But if you're walking on sharp rocks, you need to have that sense to tread lightly so that you don't injure your feet when you're walking. This also works with knowing the full range of our joint. We have, we'll know like that this feels like it's almost at the end of our joint range, as well as this, from what it feels like to our body and where we are in space. And proprioception is really important, not only for coordination, for balance, for, stability, and combating gravity, which is a force that's on us all the time. But it also protects our joints from things like hyperextension or dislocation. So if you didn't know that your arm was at its max range when it's back here, nothing was telling your brain that, you just fly it back there. You could dislocate your joints all the time. Also, this comes into play if we're going to catch something really heavy. The Golgi tendon organs, which are our proprioceptive sensing organs, which are in all of our joints, will cause a reflex for us to let go of something that's too heavy for our arm so that we don't dislocate our joint. So our body has a lot of really intelligent mechanisms to help it know where it is in space, help it be coordinated, help it sense the ground. So all just really, really cool examples of proprioception Again, like when you're balancing and you try to stand on one leg and then you start to do these little minute ankle movements to try to help yourself stay balanced. All of that is proprioceptive information. Really, really a powerful sense. So I'm going to talk about, in relation to chiropractic, you have a tendon, let's just say, and what happens is sometimes these tendon organs, these senses, with the neurologic dysfunction that happens in chiropractic, it will start to tell, the joint will get a little confused about where it really is in space. And it'll start to think that even being like this crooked is correct. So you may have noticed this when somebody says, sit up straight. And you're like, oh yeah, I gotta sit up straight, right? You were sitting just like this. And you thought that was straight until someone made you aware, and then you were like, oh, actually, this is really straight. And for some people with posture stuff, they might have a head tilt, or they might have a turn in their posture, or something like that they really think that they're standing up straight. In reality, when somebody else looks at it from the outside, they are not standing up straight. So their proprioception is a little off. They think that they're really in line, but they are, in fact, not in line. So something's gone wrong in their proprioception. And what that causes is a muscle to pull really tight. If a muscle thinks that it needs you to be like this in order to be straight, this side's going to cramp up, this side's going to be laxed, this whole, and then our muscles stay in the position that they think that they need to in order to keep our eye at level with the ground and with the horizon. Using the template of what our neurology is telling our body where we are straight and balanced, our muscles are just going to be little henchmen that react to that. So you have a really tight muscle on one side and a not so tight muscle on the other side. If this muscle's really tight, it's going to be really hard to turn head this way, and this one's not so tight, so it's going to be a lot easier to turn head this way, right? And so that's why chiropractors are assessing range of motion of joints. We assess hypertonic muscles, because what we're really trying to see is what is the underlying proprioceptive sensory neurologic dysfunction that is happening at the level of each joint. And when you correct a joint, we use that same mechanism to our advantage. So just like how I said earlier, if you are going to catch something really heavy, your body reflexively knows to release with that high velocity, low amplitude thrust right into the level of the joint capsule. We will have a muscle that's like this that doesn't realize that it has this full range. We show it what its actual full range really is and sort of reset it so that now it's balanced, and it will be balanced on both sides. And then you have full range of motion of the neck after the adjustment, because we've reset the neurology and reset the proprioceptive sensor. So it's really, really interesting. It's almost like an adjustment. It's sort of like wearing glasses for your eyes, so that you can get a better, more clear picture of the world around you. Getting adjusted is like having glasses for your proprioceptors, where you can actually really start getting accurate information about where your body is in space and where your joints really need to be aligned and to be flowing correctly. And we're getting rid of a lot of organ dysfunction as we do that. Subscribe to the channel, and you will be able to see the next video in this series of physiology of chiropractic adjustments and how they really work. So go out and know that you have more senses than you ever learned in school. And also, if you're feeling like you have a lot of tightness and muscular discomfort or decreased range of motion or unequal range of motion, come see a chiropractor, because that's exactly what we're going to look at the level of your neurology. So thank you for watching, and take care, everybody.